So, in this segment, we're going to be talking about COVID-19 tests that give results in minutes to be rolled across the world. But there is one country that may not be buying them. Can you guess which country it is? Well, you're going to have to wait a minute because I'll tell you in a minute. Tests for COVID-19 that show on the spot results in 15 to 30 minutes are about to be rolled out across the world, potentially saving many thousands of lives and slowing the pandemic in both poor and rich countries, which I think this is great. This is the thing we've needed where, maybe, if you can prove that you're negative. Obviously, there are still drawbacks because of the incubation period and all that stuff, but maybe this will allow more kind of house to house contact, because then you can quickly check if you're negative, and then boom, you can go visit people. Excuse me. Obviously, there are issues with the incubation period, but it's better than having nothing, and it's better than having a test that takes 3 to 5 days or a week because the government are incompetent. So in a triumph for a global initiative to get vital drugs and vaccines to fight the virus, 120 million rapid antigen tests from two companies will be supplied to low and middle income countries for £3.90 or for even less. This will help a lot of poorer countries as well as rich countries, and that's something I'm really happy about. Hopefully, the price is less if you're from a poorer country. That would be great. The tests, which look like a pregnancy test, will have with two blue lines displayed for positive and are read by a health worker. One test has received emergency approval from the World Health Organization, and the other is expected to get it shortly. So going back to what we were talking about, wonder which country it could be. The quick and easy but high quality tests will allow mass screening of health workers who are dying in disproportionate numbers in low income countries. Also, you can use this to test any workers you think may have symptoms. But again, the incubation period is an issue. The initiative was launched in March by the World Health Organization, the European Commission, the Gates Foundation, and the French government. So you have a lot of groups here. The interesting thing is the European Commission and the French government are involved in this. You'd think that the French government wouldn't have to be involved as much, considering the EU are involved, but that's interesting. In return for a volume guarantee from the Gates Foundation, the companies are making 20% of their production available to low and middle income countries, and 80% for the rest. Germany has ordered 20 million tests, and France and Switzerland are following suit. So you've got a lot of EU countries here buying the tests. I think it's the Gates Foundation that are manufacturing the stuff. And so what that means is, Gates is going to make a lot of money from this, and this is why Gates is pushing vaccines rapidly. It's not because he cares about people or some sort of idea that he's going to control people. It's because he makes profit. That's why. But the UK is keen to get rapid virus tests, which were central to the moonshot proposals leaked recently. But it is not clear if they intend to buy these tests. So the UK aren't going to buy these tests by the looks of things, and it's because we want to do our own thing, and we're going to mess up like we messed up track and trace originally, and we still are now. This is the stupidity of the British government. It has invested in British-made saliva tests as well as rapid antigen tests, both of which take 90 minutes. So these are slower. For a start, saliva tests are being trialled in Salford and Southampton with DNA Nudge, which uses a swab read by a nudge box. It is in use in some NHS hospitals, but the World Health Organization approved rapid antigen tests are faster and easier as well as cheaper, and could be used for screening schools, universities, etc. Countries that cannot afford it could screen more generally, while the tests will not pick up all cases. They could allow many infectious people to be identified before they have symptoms and go into quarantine. So maybe they'll do it so if you test negative, then you don't have to quarantine. One of the tests from the South Korean company SD Biosensor has just been given emergency approval by the World Health Organization, while the other from the US company Abbott is expected to get it shortly for a test. It manufactures in South Korea. So the key takeaway from this story is twofold. One is the World Health Organization and international organizations as well as some other nation states have managed to get a fast acting test done. Essentially, this thing is ready. I think it's just going to be manufactured and then sold, which hopefully shouldn't take too long. But the UK wants to do our own thing. Why? Because I reckon it's either incompetency or corruption. Because I get the idea of us having our own tests. It's a good idea purely because if this thing sells out or if there are availability issues, then we have our own test to fall back on. But we're gambling on our own tests being, our own tests rather than using the International World Health Organization standard. Which means that our tests probably won't be as good. Our tests are more expensive and take longer. So rather than using the one that would make the most sense and then using the saliva test as a plan B, we're going for that as a plan A, and I cannot figure out why they would do this. We had the chance to get a decent track and trace system working months ago. Germany have had it for months. The only thing that they need now is more people to actually download the app. We don't have a proper track and trace app. We are so far behind everyone else, it's unreal. And now the British government are refusing, by the looks of things, to buy these tests. And I reckon within a month's time we'll cave because we won't be able to manufacture enough of these saliva tests, or we'll realise these saliva tests are actually better. And I think it's either incompetency or corruption. That's the key question of this pandemic is, were these decisions and contracts that were given out, like the one where they invested money into that, what's it called, that satellite company that don't make the right satellites, OneWeb, was that incompetency or was it corruption? I think that was incompetency. I think this one is probably more corruption. I think that someone's got a stake in these companies that make these swab tests, because these are more expensive than the World Health Organization tests, which have a higher certificate of standards, if that makes sense. So these are, to a higher standard, are better and cheaper. And instead, we're going to do it on our own and be stupid. So I don't know what more to make of this. So this story, again, in conclusion, the story is twofold. One, it's great. We finally got tests that are faster acting, cheap, and are available for mass production, rather than using the saliva and swabbed nose test that they use now, which goes really high up your nose and looks uncomfortable. And the back of the throat test, which again is uncomfortable. They have something that looks like it's better. But we're going to do it on our own, and we're going to fail on our own, just as we have done during this whole pandemic. Highest death rate in Europe. No other country will sing that, hopefully. But it's us, we're the kings. If we look at our COVID rates once again, I know this is an article I keep flashing to, and I really need to refresh a bit quicker. But if we look here, we're top dons. Look at that, per million, we're number one. And so the UK government, instead of using these World Health Organization standardized tests, we're going to do it on our own, and we're going to fail. Because I don't have any faith in this government. I have faith in this country, but I don't have any faith in this government. So I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.